Hello again, everybody. It's Ben with Warhammer Fantasy. I'm bringing you a battle report against OnG. This is for there's a tournament coming up in February in Maryland. I'm not going to it, but just to get a game in, I went to Huzzah Hobbies and got a game against Brandon Phelps, who plays OnG. Every time I played him, he's whooped my ass. So let's go over the lists. So on my side, I've got a Iron Arc Warlord with the Obsidian Sword, Dragon Mantle, Talisman of Supreme Shielding, so he's got a 1-up, 4-up. I've got the Great Green Idol, who's my BSB. Cave Goblin Chief, Armor of Fortune, Crown of Scorn. There's no magic on either side, so we've got just straight up combat shooting. 2 blocks in the center of the Common Orcs with spears and bows with both musicians. Feral Orc Edbashers on the far right with Gleaming Icon, Full Command, Paired Weapons, Mammoth Stabber. I've got 29 Iron Orcs with the Aether Icon, a Gargantula, 2 Cave Trolls, and 2 National Wrecking Teams. On his side, he's got, I think it's 3 Tribesmen, followed by, starting from the left, 3 Bombardiers, a Saber Tusk, his General's Bunker with I think he's got 8 Tribesmen in there. He's got another 3 Tribesmen next to it. His Scratapult, 7 Mercenaries with a character in there. 2 more 3-man units of Bombardiers, another 3-man unit of Tribesmen, and a Gorger, I think it is. So the way I deployed my Great Green Idol, Cave Troll in front of him, my Iron Orcs, a Wrecking Team, Common Orcs, Nasher Chief behind them, another Cave Troll, another unit of Common Orcs, Gargantula, Nasher Wrecking Team, Feral Orcs. We were doing counter thrust. We didn't pick a secondary objective because we just forgot to. But we rolled off to see who got first turn. He got first turn. So, OnG's turn 1. His movement is little. He moves up the two 3-man units of Tribesmen and his Gorger right in front of my Feral Orcs. These guys, we go straight into shooting because there's no magic. These guys shoot and do 1 wound to my Great Green Idol. This guy shoots, and for fuck's sake, please take away the 6, area 6. It's just too damn much. He does 7 wounds. All of these were lethal strikes. Except for 1. I think he did 6 lethal strikes, and he had 1 that I could not roll a 3 up to save my life. So, moves on to my turn 1. I charge the Gargantula into his 3 Tribesmen that he moved up. They failed the terror check and ran, and I failed my charge. This is after I failed the charge. And the Feral Orcs go into the Gorger, and they make it, obviously. Movement looks like that. Everything just kind of moves up a little bit. Shooting, both units kill off the Saber Tusk. You can see the Tribesmen back there that ran. These guys, I get in, I do 1 wound with the Mammoth Stabber. Oh no, I don't do any wounds with the Mammoth Stabber. And I get 1 wound with my attacks. And he gets 1 wound. He's unbreakable. We're not going anywhere. Moves on to his turn 2. He is declaring charges against my Cave Troll. Obviously, I can't do anything, so I'm just standing there. He charges this Cave Troll with his mercenaries. And he gets in with both, and he gets in with that unit. After movement, this is what everything looks like. This asshole shoots, blows off another 4 of my guys. Still don't like that Scratapult. These guys shoot and do 1 wound there. Then these guys shoot and kill him off. Unfortunately. Well, not really unfortunately. It didn't really matter to me if he died or not. That's what he's there for, to soak up damage. In this round, I only do 1 wound. He kills 3 guys, but I've got a wound, 3 ranks, and a banner, and he does 3 wounds. So I still won by 2. So I still have frenzy, thankfully. He kills him, and I don't think he moves anything. I think he just reforms. Yep. These guys. This is why I take Cave Trolls. They do 1 wound to him because he saves everything else. And then I puked on his general. So his general took a wound from the vomit. Failed his ward save. I passed a 5-up leadership, and that signed the death warrant for those 2 units. So now he's stuck there against a Cave Troll. Moves on to my turn 2, and I'm calling out the motherfucking Wog. Now, I made a mistake here. I probably shouldn't have charged the common orcs into anything. My Great Green Idol is going into the 3 tribesmen on the left. Iron Orcs are going into the tribesmen in the front with the general. The Cave Nasher Chief is going into the flank of them. And what I should have done with my common orcs is not charge them. I should have just marched them forward and used them as chaff. I charged both common orc units into his mercenaries, hoping to get, maybe kill off 1 guy. And then my Gargantula charges the bombardiers right there. They passed their terror check, but I think they chose to flee. They chose to flee. They ran through. Mercenaries passed their leadership check, and the other set of bombardiers did not, because they ran through both of them. So my Gargantula doesn't redirect, unfortunately. If he did redirect, then this would have been a much better combat. That leadership 6, though. Yeah. And my Feral Orcs are still stuck over here. I throw my Nasher wrecking team over towards the hill. Go straight into combat because there's no shooting. I kill off the Gorger finally and just reform. This one right here takes the cake. He does 4 wounds to me. I gave the Nasher Chief, the Iron Orcs, all devastating charge, and the Troll got +1 to wound. I go through and I do, I think it was 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, I think 13, 14, 15 wounds, and he did 4. So I absolutely destroyed him. He had no way he was going to, he auto break immediately. So he auto breaks. I chase with the Nasher Chief, and I catch him, and then I just reform with everybody else. Over here, his mercenaries wipe out 1 unit of common orcs in 1 round. This is why I should have just chaffed him up with the common orcs, because at that point I still could have shot him up with 1 of them to get, maybe a few wounds through, but be there so that he has to charge me and waste time, which would have kept a lot of things alive. Would have set me up for better charges later on. So this is what the board looks like. I think this is the bottom of 2. So top of 3, he is charging my Nasher Chief in the flank, and he makes it because there's no other charges. After movement is what everything looks like. into combat. He does 2 wounds to me. I do 3 wounds to him. And I believe it's a push. Yeah, it's a push there. He wipes out the 25 common orcs, as expected. I think I only did 1 wound to him. And then he reforms, I think, to face my iron orcs. So these guys are charging here. Iron orcs go for a long ball charge. Need a 12 to get to the Scratapult. The Great Green Idol is going into the tribesmen in the back. They pass the terror check, and they sit there. Troll. Oh, no, he didn't move. He overran. That's what he did. He overran because he didn't want to get flank charged by anything. So after movement, the troll fails. Iron orcs fail. Troll fails his stupidity test, and he moves 3 inches forward. Iron orcs fail their... They rolled a 10 when they needed a 12. They failed their charge. In the remaining moves, I didn't think about this, but I moved my National Wrecking Team right behind his 3 tribesmen, and you'll see why this is a problem after. I moved my Gargantula over in front of the building. By the way, these are these little mats down here. This is a building. That's a field. This is a forest, and over here is a hill. I just bought those today, or the day that I went to, which is today, whatever. These things are pretty awesome because, one, you don't have shit that gets in the way of your models. You don't have to, you can move, and you understand why it's better than actual terrain. You can still put stuff on top of it, but it's, it's there. It's much easier to move around on it. So after I blow up the tribesmen, because there's no shooting, I overrun 6 inches, and I get into my National Wrecking Team, which of the 3d6 that I roll, I only roll 6. I only wound with 4, and I rolled a 6 up to save, so I got 3 wounds on my Feral Orcs. Thank God. Over here, Nasher Chief kills off the other 2 guys, and I reform. He does 2 wounds onto my Great Green Idol, and I think I did a crush attack and killed 1. So I think it was a push, because I think I only did 2 wounds to him. Goes on to top of 4. He is charging his tribesmen into my troll. His mercenaries reform, make a swift reform and turn to face so that they can get my iron orcs in the flank, or I can't run away. His impact hits kill off my troll because I couldn't make a 5-up, 4-up. And he puts one more wound onto my Great Green Idol. It is a push again because I've got BSB. So there's that. Moves to my turn 4. These guys charge. He chooses to flee with... The first unit fails terror and they run away. Or no. Whichever happens, they either failed the terror check or they decided to flee. And when this unit of bombardiers fled, they fled through this unit. They failed their leadership check, and they failed their reroll, and they ran off the table. And then the Scratapult failed his leadership check and ran off the table. So these 2 units got all 3 of these units to run off the table. I only needed a 10 with these guys to get in, and when I rolled my failed charge, I got an 11. So I would have made it in with them. The Nasher Chief is running into the tribesmen over here in front of the GGI, and that's going to be death for them. Hopefully. So there's this. All of them gone. Over here, I did a swift reform and walked out of his view for one more turn. Moving into combat, as expected. I was hoping that he wouldn't die because I got a 4-up, 5-up against him. So sorry, I got a text message. So he goes and he puts 1 wound on him. I failed a 4-up, 5-up, and I died. So I just reformed my Great Granite to turn around. So that's what the board looks like right now. Goes to top of 5. He charges in with those guys. He turns to face them so that I can't get away. My 5, I just turn to face and move everything over a little bit. He does 1 wound to my Great Green Idol, I believe. So he's still alive right now. In my combat phase, he kills him. Spins around like that. Top of 6, he's charging in both units. So mercenaries in the front, other guys in the flank. And he makes it in with both. Now, I'm thinking what I could have done is I could have tried to march as far away as possible to make him have a longer charge, which would have kept him alive. Not that I'm thinking about it, because all I did was just reform to face, and I was already facing away from him. If I marched the full 8 away, he's 6 right there. He'd probably get an 8 on 3 dice, or the 9 or 10 he would need, or whatever he would need. He would need something to get to the Ironworks. If I marched 8 away as fast as possible, then there's a potential that I could have just not. Potentially, I could have just gotten away, or I could have just moved away. But he charges in, kills me down. I issue a challenge to my general, and he accepts with his hero. I put 2 wounds on his hero. He kills me down to a man. I flee. But in my turn 6, I rally on a 9. I rolled exactly a 9. So this is what the game looks like at the end of the game. Right now, I've got a Gargantula, my general, and my Feral Orcs on the board. Now, if we had objectives, if it was like control more table quarters or whatever, I would have had. I would have moved my Feral Orcs into the center of the table to get, whatever it needs. I'm in his deployment zone at the end of the game, or I could be in the center at the end of the game. So either way, it would have come out. If there were scenario points, it would have come out a much higher victory. Maybe it would have been like a 14-6. It would have been a much better one, but 11-9 is still good because every time I've played Brandon, I've fucking lost. So this is a win for me, not only in the 9th age, but in life. Bucket list checked. I don't know how many more games I'm going to get anytime soon. I'm not going to this tournament. I'm going to the Brawlers Bash in North Carolina. Because I got a lot of packing out to do. I'm moving to West Virginia, so don't expect to see much out of me in terms of battle reports. I might get a few UB games here and there, but I don't battle report those. So, yeah. It was a good game. I kind of wish I did a few things differently. I would have been able to deal with the mercenaries had I only chaffed them up with my common orcs, because I could have chaffed them up twice. But that's why I do these battle reports, so I can learn from my mistakes. So, anyways, that's all I've got for this battle report. So until next time, I will see you guys later.